Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday, the 11th of January at Turffontein. We're on the stand side track, and of course we are racing alongside Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, where they're on this summer course, and double header for Saturday if things go to plan when it comes to weather, etc. We've had a rough week when it comes to local racing with the inclement weather and changes to the program. But hopefully things fall into place over this weekend, and I trusted you, the valued racing fan, as well. And as always, Alistair Cohen on the line. I've chatted to him about the race meeting over the past weekend down in the Western Cape during the course of the week. But this weekend, Alistair, these disruptions, they're out of their hands. They're purely in the hands of the racing gods. But hopefully things turn around this weekend when it comes to our local coverage.
Yeah, good day, Dees. Good day to all the viewers. 2 weeks before the World Sports Betting Cape Town met, we go into the 11th of January, and as I'd say, we got half a chance on Saturday. At the time of recording, it's cloudy, it's gloomy, but it hasn't rained for, I'd say, 36 hours up on the Harpveld. It's obviously waterlogged. I mean, just walking around the garden, it's sloshy, it's splashy and all that. The water table's very, very high indeed. But and there's a forecast of light rain through the night. Hopefully the sun does peep out through the late afternoon, and we do get a little bit of action, because I feel for the trainers, I feel for the owners, I feel for the jockeys. Obviously this is an important race meeting setting up for the first leg of the Triple Crown and Volkerbos Triple Tiara. There's a couple of 3-year-old feature races for horses that'll be looking to build a little bit of fitness going into that showcase. Time is now of the essence. This is probably the last chance saloon for those horses to have a good run and a good break and set themselves up for that. But as it stands, 10 races, nice card as well, 19 races across the South African calendar to look forward to. And hopefully we enjoy this feast on Saturday.
Okay, one note is that Marco van Rensburg obviously not riding due to an injury, and we wish him and all the others that are on the sidelines a speedy recovery. And to those that have come back, the likes of Muzieni and Luim Kotwa, welcome back, guys, and speedy recovery to those on the sidelines. Okay, race number 1, 11:55, 1,000 meters, a juvenile plate. And horse number 1, well, we'll get the right pronunciation from Alistair. He, being the commentator that he is, he is one that will look up these names. But I'll go Nyaka Nyaka, Baron Borges runner, Hollywoodbets 13-2 into 4-1. Then we go on to number 5 at 2-1, number 6 at 4-1, 7 is at 9-2. That's Easy Tiger, and number 9, Truly Magical, at 11-2. Going in blind here, Alistair. A lot of unraced horses.
There are a lot of whispers. Nyaka Nyaka D's. The reason why I'm going to go with Nyaka Nyaka is because my parents used to go to Collegians Club just over the road, or not far from where you are right now, to go and get a dish called a Nyaka Nyaka. They tried to make it once, it was awful. But I'm sure it was a lot better at Collegians. There's a bit of support for the son of Rabada, who interestingly is a half-brother to a daughter of Iraq, who just had one start. But I've had a good look at the pedigree, because I was quite surprised to see some support for this horse, and it is related to that horse Mentor, who was owned by Alesh Nadu. Speed like you can't believe, and also Royal IQ. So lots of speed, lots of sharpness potentially there in the pedigree. Pelisande Oli takes her out for Baron Burtis. There's certainly no open and shut case, because the case you can make for quite a few of these horses is compelling. The other first timer that there has been a bit of talk around is number 7, Easy Tiger, the daughter of Rafif Muzieni and Mike de Kock team up. This is the sister to Great Cat, very well performed horse for Hollywood Racing, trained by Brett and James Crawford, done all of her racing down in the Western Cape, has Great Cats. And number 7, Easy Tiger, was nominated for a minor feature at Hollywoodbets Scottsville just the next day. There was a little bit of talk out for her. In fact, she'd been nominated for the whole of January, every juvenile race that there could be. So I'm sure she's putting up some very smart early work, number 7, Easy Tiger. And then Gavin Larena rides number 6, Brighton Brazen, who I've heard nothing about. Of the form, number 5, Zaka 2, finished in front of number 2, Porridge Boy, and number 4, Tenjiku on debut. That was on Betway Summer Cup Day when Glastonbury won. Zaka 2 beat Porridge Boy by 3 lengths. Porridge Boy holds is an acceptor for the next day at Hollywood Hollywoodbets Scottsville as well, which is interesting. Wouldn't surprise me to see the deficit turn. Zakatu's had the extra run under the belt. I remember watching Tenjiku on the way down to the start. He's got a lovely stride, lovely action about him. And number 2, Porridge Boy, I remember from the sales, no surprise that he was a R1 million yearling. So I'd expect there to be a lot of improvement from those 2 horses. I'd keep an eye on the market. If there's a further push for number 1, Nyaka Nyaka, I would keep that in mind. Number 7, Easy Tiger, if there's a push about her, I definitely respect that. But as it stands, of the race runners, I think number 2 might turn around with 5. I think Porridge Boy might be worth a second look.
Okay, doesn't form part of the exotics, but maybe you can find something to play on the tote. There's lots of bets that are on offer to try and find one that is going to suit you here in race number 1. Just a word on number 9, Truly Magical. Yeah, she has put up some good work. She's ready to run, is the word from James Crawford. And he's of the opinion that if she's not too green, she certainly has a money chance. And if it's a win, well, it'll be an absolute bonus. But they are expecting a good run from her if she's not too green. Number 9, Truly Magical. She's priced up at 11-2. Let's see if there's any follow through in the betting market come race time. Race number 2, which will be the start of the Barpot, a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. We bring up the field, have a look at the betting. Number 1 is Endesayo at 9-2. That's Paul Matchett's runner. Number 2, Panthera and Sear at 8-1. That will now be the mount of Cabello Mazziniane. Then we got number 7, Desert Cloud from the Candace Dawson stable. This is one of my nag me horses that I've been waiting for a long time for it to come up when it does run. And maybe Alistair's going to tell us the word coming off a long break from the 16th of May. But I've been waiting for this filly. And then number 8, Flight of a Condor, is at 17-10. The balance of the runners, Mike and Adam Azzi's runner, number 11, World Tour, is at 9-2. I think a nice way to begin is possibly, some feedback, if you have any, on number 7, Desert Cloud, the layoff and how she's doing.
She had a setback after her debut, but she's in very, very good shape, Dees. Her last workout was a very, very good workout, but a little bit unsure, about the inside draw down the Turffontein standside track. That's not Candace's style, so that's something to think about. And also hoping that she's not just sort of one gallop away from being at her absolute peak. She's a very, very nice filly. She's going to win her races. She's got a lot of class, a lot of quality. A small athletic daughter of Give Me the Green Lights. Her debut behind Rodeo Drive speaks for itself. Rodeo Drive was subsequently touched off at grade 1 level at Hollywoodbets Scottsville in the Alan Robertson. So she's definitely got a lot of ability. I expect her to go quite well. Number 7, Desert Cloud. She can win, but she's no bipot banker. I think that's probably the fairest way of putting it. Horses that obviously deserve a mention. Number 1, Desire, was stuck on the wrong side of the track in a big field last time. She has to be better than that run. I don't like the form lines, but she's not going to run that badly this time around, number 1, Desire. So she's worth respecting. 8, Flight of a Condor, also. The form lines aren't great, but at least she's got match fitness on her side, and we know that the Diane Stinger horses step up with each and every run, so it's not impossible that she finds a little bit more. Her best run was her debut over 1,000 meters, so no surprise to see her dropping in distance. She is by far. And then number 11, World Tour. Interesting, daughter of One World, the all-conquering One World, drawn in Barrier 1. This is a half-sister to Sheila, who of course was trained by the Yazzies, and a half-sister to Wild Green, who won on debut at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth as a 2-year-old with Justin State not so long ago, just a few weeks back. So World Tour has got the genetics to be very interesting on debut, but there's not a whisper out about her. I'm going to lead with number 7, Desert Cloud. I know you like to ask a mark out of 10 Ds. I'll probably go 7 out of 10 for number 7, Desert Cloud, but definite respect for numbers 1, 8, and 11.
Yeah, I like those comments. Thank you for that, Alistair, just giving us some feedback on number 7, Desert Cloud. And although it's not a super confident selection, well, I think against this type of field, on what I saw on debut, which was way back in May, she looks like a filly that we're going to have to pencil in regardless of the results here. But hopefully she can deliver at 33-10, race number 2. Then on to the place accumulator, which will be the third race at 13:05. It's a merit-rated 96 handicap over 1,000 meters. And let's go to the field and the betting. Number 1, Karangatang at 11-2. Horse number 3, Yamadori, is at 33 to 10. Rolling with the punches is a scratching. That is out. 5, King of Venus, is at 9 to 2. 6, Johnny Please, is at 17 to 10. Or Johnny Appleseed is at 17 to 10. 7, Kindred Heart, is at 8 to 1. And it's double fingers the balance. So, I had a good look at this race, Alistair, and the more I looked at it, the more I was swayed to be in the camp of number 5, King of Venus, at around 9 to 2. But I don't know if you can really banker that in the place accumulator, because there are horses with form here.
I'll give him a chance, Deez. I think his Achilles' heels is that he hangs inwards, does number 5, King of Venus. I remember when Calvin Habib won on him twice, and he kind of drifted over towards the inside and almost conspired to get himself beaten, but he was on such good heart at that stage that he was able to get the job done, and his consistency has rewarded him 2 penalties for being a loser. So I'm not a big fan of that, but I do definitely respect his chance. It's a very, very tricky race. I've settled the number 1, Korangatang here, Deez. I think the key to this race is look for a horse that's drawn towards the outside that can finish off the race. 6 months' time, might be talking a different tune. A horse that has speed, like Johnny Appleseed, could be very effective in a race of this nature, likewise Halcyon. But I think now with a track that's going to certainly be running soft, number 1, Korangatang also has a good record on the wet, 4 starts for 1 win in 2 places. And I just like the way that this horse has come back to the boil. He won his anti-penultimate start beating Rainbow Reward. It was welcome to get him back on track. He was a very promising young 2-year-old that ripped up a lot of trees as a youngster. And maybe the handicapper got to him, maybe just lost his gloss, but I think now he's pretty much in the right type of place, and with Ryan Munger on board, I think that Korangatang might be well set up to, if not win, go very, very close. So he's my top selection. I think the stable companion number 3, Yamadori, is in the race, but if you go back to a run in the early October, Korangatang finished 4.5 lengths in front and should still comfortably hold him at the weights. But Yamadori's got a high number draw and has Gavin Larena on board, so I respect his chances. 5, King of Venus, does go. And in fact, in the place accumulator, I'd be going 1 and 5. In the buy pot, I would be throwing in number 3, Yamadori, as backup, and I'll be settled on those numbers to work around with.
Okay, let's get on to the big one now. It is the pick 6, and just having a look at the way the fields are positioned for this pick 6. I think we'll get a sizable pool here, because there's some feature races, of course, those that have been moved because of the inclement weather, etc. And Alistair Cohen has given his thoughts on some of these feature races as well already, so we'll see if there's any change in his mindset with regards to selections. But race number 4 is the Wolf Power, 1600 meters, a listed race, and this is where the pick 6 begins. And with quality on offer, I'm sure the pools will be supported. Number 1, Texas Red, at 9 to 2. 2, Pomodoro's Jet, is at 28 to 10. Still waiting a rider for horse number 6, Silent War. Then we go on to number 7, Storm Brasco. Sean Terry's runner. What a win last time out when coming from off the speed against what could say an unlucky number 8, Truth. So they meet again. So 7, Storm Brasco at 9 to 2. 8, Truth at 5 to 2. And then it's double figures the balance. I'm going to begin with that run that was won by number 7, Storm Brasco. Because number 8, Truth, I'm sure Candace and the connections would have been very pleased on how he came back from gelding.
Yeah, look, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, because it's one of those that kind of felt like it was left out there with number 8, Truth. But yeah, connections were pleased to see him back on track. He's a high-quality horse. I've been down this avenue already. Hated Hollywoodbets Greyville towards the end of champion season. He needed his first run back over 1,200 meters, and then last time just didn't get the rub of the bean behind Storm Brasco. And take nothing away from Storm Brasco's when he ran the finish out of Truth. There's absolutely no excuses for that, and we can't lose sight of the fact that Storm Brasco is a high-quality horse, and Sean Terry tested him in the Gauteng Guineas in the South African Classic. Although with no results, we always believe that this horse has got some sort of feature race potential about on number 7, Storm Brasco. But at the weights, Truth has got the advances. It was quarter of a length in it, and Truth comes in here 1.5 kilos better off. So there's a little bit of food for thought. Truth is doing very nicely. He always does. He's an excellent workhorse. His recovery rate is out the top draw, and like to believe that he'll go very close. On this card, Dees, I agree with you. I think it's going to be an above-average pick-six pool. I think that a lot of punters would be looking forward to this with the lack of racing that we've had this week, with the feature races that are on offer, etc., etc. So I think it's going to be a good pick-six pool, and the pick-six is my suggested bet. And for these three features that have been moved twice, there are no changes. I think it's just unfair to the punters to suddenly come in and sing a completely different theme song on the back of trying to work it out the first time. So 1, 2, 7, and 8 are my numbers. We've spoken about Storm Brasco and Truth. 1 and 2, Texas Red, no right to beat Main Defender last time, but ran a nice race. 3 lengths behind the horse, who's just simply a better miler. He's got a lot of weight to lug round, but he overachieves as number 1 Texas Red. He's always worth a go. The only thing that worries me about Pomodoro's Jet, I'd actually tip him on top, number 2 Pomodoro's Jet, but I think he's found his niche down the Vaal Straight. His win in the World Sports Winning Grand Heritage was out of the top draw. He made absolute light of the opposition, but he's kind of become accustomed to that free-striding Vaal Straight. And look, it's not to say that if you can run on one, you can't run on the other, but he's just found a new lease on life. He's found an extra gear down the Vaal Straight, and I hope that he doesn't sort of drop the bundle on the back of probably a deserved £9 penalty for being a runaway winner in the Grand Heritage. He goes in. James Crawford, I was chatting to him during the week, a little bit sceptical that, the race is coming so soon, but he obviously pulled up very well after the World Sports Winning Grand Heritage, hence he's back again. So 1, 2, 7, and 8, first leg of the pick six, and I think we'll survive.
4 horses there, minimizing the spend nicely in leg 1 of the pick 6. Race number 5, which will be jackpot 1. It's the Betway Mother Russia Stakes, a Group 3 over 1,400 meters. We got all 8 that stand at the time of recording. Keep an eye on scratchings, declarations on race day. Horse number 1 is Vulcanite at 5-2. Number 2, Bequena at 7-1. Number 3, Miss Leah is at 3-1. Horse number 4 is at 4-1. Then we go on to number 5, Sonic Jet, from 5-1 that is shortening to 4-1, Hollywoodbets. And Coco Melon, number 7, is in double figures here. So is horse number 8. So the horses in double figures, numbers 5, 7, and 8. But other than that, I don't think there is a standout here, Alistair. Although, if you refer to the best weighted column, then it looks like one horse does dominate, and that's number 1, Vulcanite.
Yeah, Vulcanite does set a pretty high standard. Look, I must confess, it's not a very strong Grade 3 Betway Mother Russia Stakes, but I think when you remove Quid Pro Quo from the conversation, and then Fatal Flaw, who's now a Grade 1 winner, there's not much else in the 3-year-old fillies, but we've got a few months to find a few 3-year-old fillies, so maybe we'll find something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, my pick 6 numbers. In order of preference, I actually like number 4, Salinio Peninsula. I think she'll run a huge race here, the half-sister to Barbara Resco. Last time behind Miss Leah, she ran second. At the weight, she should turn that form around, so I think number 4, Salinio Peninsula, has a good opportunity of certainly getting a little bit of black type to her name and potentially picking up a feature race, a nice big Grade 3 prize of Gavin Arena on board for Johan Janssen van Vuren out of a good draw. If you go to her run to Fatal Flaw, she finished in front of Coco Melon. As mentioned, she took turn it around with Miss Leah at the mathematics. Although I've got number 3, Miss Leah in, there's no reason to sit here and say that she can't win. She can. She's very consistent. She's gone through the division. She surprised me last time out when there was a lot of support for her, and she was full value for the win. All the form lines are working out well. Number 1, Vulcanite, the key horse in the race. Since changing tactics and going a mile, she's been a completely different filly. She's been dominant in her performances from the front. Ryan Munger takes her out. Craig Zacky's gone to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth for the day. I'd anticipate that the first leg of the Vulcanbos Triple Tiara would be more in her wheelhouse, considering that she looks like she's becoming an accomplished miler. Though with that said, her style of running and the fact that there's not much other pace in the race. Sonic Jet can go forward, I suppose, but she might get things her own way, and she could be hard to peg back. Number 2, Bequena, will be tested over this distance, but she is held in higher regard. Chase Morjan takes her out for Johan Janssen van Vuren. I've got her in mainly out of reputation and belief. And then number 7, Coco Melon's a complete wrong price. These out of draw 1. I'd much prefer this to be over 1,600 meters, but go watch the Fillies Mile again. She made a lot of good late work. She's also run to the likes of Fatal Flaw. From that draw, she took her medicine. She made up a lot of ground. She was sneaking into the picture late. Might be running out of racetrack, but she's got something about her, number 7, Coco Melon. I've got her in just because I think that she could be above average.
Okay, sounds like a very tricky race to try and minimize the spend. If I had to push you for your Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge entry in race number 5, which horse would it be?
It will be number 4, Salinio Peninsula, D's.
Okay, that is going to be 4, possibly the roving banker here if you're playing trifectas and quartets. Race number 6, the Betway, got the green light stakes at Group 3 over 1,400 meters. And before we even touch on this field, the best weighted column belongs to number 1, Cosmic Speed at a 107. Then number 2, Fire Attack at a 102. And then Great Tricks number 3 at a 101, joined with number 4, The Specialist. So number 1, Cosmic Speed at 7-2. Number 2, Fire Attack at 4-1. Then we got Great Tricks. That has been supported from even money into 9-10. Hollywood bets, and we got number 6, Musical Score at 6-1, still awaiting a rider for horse number 7. Just want to touch on these two runners together, of course, Fire Attack and Great Tricks, and I'd just like to say, however you view the race and the way it was run, and pace, etc., and maybe excuses for number 3, Great Tricks, the fact is, that's how special that performance was from Quid Pro Quo. She just really was above that field on what I saw. She's now changed hands, we know, and we wish the new connections all the best. But regardless of this horse, Great Tricks being a horse that was strongly fancied on the betting and on reputation, etc., that performance of Quid Pro Quo, I mean, that was a performance of a performance, Alistair.
We're lucky we've got so many reasons to enjoy the sport. What we saw from Quid Pro Quo that day was something to behold. Coming in without a prep run, doubting whether that she would train on from a 2-year-old to a 3-year-old. I believe this is a very strong 3-year-old crop across the country. I mean, One Stripe right now sets an extremely high standard. It'll take, even though One Stripe is unlikely to travel down to KZN for champion season, those are the vibes that we're getting from social media posts on Cape Racing, it will take a Herculean effort for another 3-year-old colt to topple him as champion 3-year-old colt. But when you look around and what else there is, I mean, I think if Great Tricks, Cosmic Speed, Proceed. There are numerous others. There are horses in this race that are totally untapped that probably can't come into that conversation just yet. 8 on 18, Great Plains. Geez, this is an unbelievably good crop of 3-year-olds. And if it wasn't for One Stripe and Quid Pro Quo, we'd probably be talking about a huge cross-section of unbelievably talented horses. And it's almost miraculous that we got 2 standouts in each division. So to go back to the Quid Pro Quo discussion from the Ding-Gongs, unbelievable, sensational win, the way that she ran them down, hands and heels, and made a nursery winner Fire Attack in a horse that's held in high regard. Great Tricks, who had valid excuses, but wouldn't have laid a glove on Quid Pro Quo, made them look ordinary. So, going into this race, complete contrast to the race earlier. I think this is well worth its Grade 3 title, if not better. The Betway got the green light stakes over 1,400 meters. I want to start with potentially, not horses that I've got into the pick 6, but horses that I'm going to watch closely going forward. 6, Musical Score, very nice horse. 7, Shrosanada, very nice horse. I don't believe they're ready to win a Grade 3 yet, but I think they will win their races. I've got numbers 1 and 3 in the pick 6. I've left out number 2, Fire Attack, because I believe from the draw, and nothing's going to go as badly for Great Tricks this time as it did last time. I think that Great Tricks will turn that form around. He's 9-10, sounds a little bit skinny, but he probably went to stride too fast last time, fell in a hole, and there were well-documented issues around a lot of horses around at Fontein, a lot of big yards at Reinke's just underachieved that day. So number 3, Great Tricks gets another chance. He's in the credit with me, and I'm going to tip him on top. Number 1 on the card, Cosmic Speed, cannot be left out. High quality horse. His win on Hollywoodbets Durbanville was super impressive, running away from Proceed, who was ultimately the Equus champion 2-year-old Colt Gelding of last season. 1 loss on the copybook. There was a messy race, was the Premier's Champion Stakes on Gold Cup Day at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Still made up ground behind VJ's Angel. Overall, that form line is a massive question mark, but we can't doubt the class of number 1, Cosmic Speed. He's had a run under the belt in a sprint, which he could never lose, and won in workmanlike fashion that would only set him up for this race at hand. So 2 horses for me, numbers 1 and 3 in all bets.
Okay, really looking forward to this race. And as we mentioned, anti-post, Great Tricks, even money into 9-10. Let's see with Muzieni back on this son of Vercingetorix how he goes here as an odds-on shot. Race number 7 will be Jackpot 2. Of course, there are 10 races on the go at Turffontein, so this is where Jackpot 2 will begin at 15:30. It's a Pinnacle Stakes over 1160 meters. The best weighted column is very tight between, I'll give you the numbers, 6, 8, 3, 4, and 7. Not much in it in the best weighted column. Number 1, Barbaresco at 11-2. Number 2, I Am Giant at 8-1. Then we got number 5, Mount Pilatus at 28-10. Chasing Happiness, well, she is in tremendous form. In fact, as a 4-year-old, she is now unbeaten, 3 from 3. She is trading at 7-2. We awaited jockey on number 8, Just Be Lacquer at 9-2. Alistair did touch on this filly because we're supposed to see her during the week, which was not to be. Number 10, Taxi to the Moon at 8-1, and it's double figures the balance. How are we looking here in this race, Alistair? I mentioned the best weighted column doesn't paint a picture where you could possibly use as a guide because it's so tight. But Chasing Happiness, I keep going back to horses that are in good form. You keep following until they get beat, or you feel that maybe it's time to let go, that the horse is too high up in the ratings. I don't know your thoughts on her achieving a 109.
You know what, Deez, the progress and the improvement that she's shown in the space of a year is absolutely miraculous. Credit to Johan Janse van Vuuren. He's worked wonders with his daughter Rafif, who he's always liked, and I know she's hot. Was hot. She was bothered. She got herself worked up before races. She left a lot out there. She totally underachieved, and now all of those issues seem to have ironed out. And look at the record that she's racking up. Her win in the Magnolia was brilliant, full value, beating Elegant Eyes. Elegant Eyes is no mug. She got the £6 penalty, which she easily warranted, and now she's pretty much in the mix among that high caliber sprinting older fillies. Number 6, Chasing Happiness. Funny enough, I've left out the pick 6, and I'm questioning myself why I've done that. 2, 5, 8, and 10 are the horses that I've gone in with, but I am going to motivate. Number 6, Chasing Happiness goes in. Jared Penny rides number 8, Just Be Lacquer, 50.5 kilos, coming back from a layoff. There is a plan with the daughter of William Longsword, a long-term plan, but she's doing very, very nicely at home. She suffered a small setback after her win on Hollywoodbets Durbanville July Day. She was targeting the Mercury Sprint, not that she would have been high in many people's estimations there, but yep, there is a plan for number 8, Just Be Lacquer, going forward. Again, will she be ready coming back from will she be ready enough coming back from a layoff? That remains to be seen, but she'll run well enough for number 8, Just Be Lacquer. She's a very good filly. 2, 5, and 8, and 10. Let's talk about then. I've got hope for number 2, I Am Giant D's. In fact, at a push, I'll probably tip him on top. The son of Ferrari. I think he needed his last run, needed it quite badly, over 1,000 meters, and he's fair over 1,000 meters, but he's better over the extra 160 meters, as you can see, to runs to Lucky Lad and the Senor Santa, etc., and in the Golden Horse Sprint, where he was perhaps a trifle unlucky, although Lucky Lad would have been the unluckiest loser in history. Good horse, needed his last run behind Golden Sickle. He'll only come forward with that run under the belt. He's got grade 1 form to his name. It's not winning grade 1 form, but it's very good grade 1 form, and I think that'll put him in the picture. Number 5, Mount Pilatus, big test, but he's stepping up the ladder each and every time he runs. He's seeking a hat trick. I've put him in just because of his form. We'll learn a lot about him here. Number 5, Mount Pilatus. Paul Match has also done very well with him, getting him to climb the divisions. And then number 10, Taxi to the Moon. Caden Brewer takes a ride with 50 kilos on the back. Always a horse that gives of his best. Can't be too far away. Pistol Pete better than him last time. I think Pistol Pete would fit in quite favourably in a race like this.
Okay, that's race number 7, and Alistair's given us some thoughts on a few runners there. And I think that race, Jackpot 2, which will begin there, if you can try and narrow things down, I think you're a winner there in race number 7, leg 1 of Jackpot 2. Race number 8, 2,000 meters. Another Pinnacle Stakes, and here, well, this does tell a story, because I think these two horses who are joint at a 1-1-2 could be the horses to follow. Number 2, None Other, and number 5, Red Maple. But the best weighted column does say that the 2 mares, along with the filly, could possibly be the right horses in the race, the other filly being number 8, Explosive Bond. But the betting market has it like this. Kevin Larino has picked up the rider number 2, None Other. She's at 5-1. Then we got number 3, Thani Player at 4-1. 4 second base at 7-1. Number 5, Red Maple. Well, it was good to see her bounce back to her very best last time out at 17-10. That may be skinny for a few. Then number 8, Exclusive Bond. That's at 33-10. Yep, this race, I'm sure you can help us try and narrow things down here, Alistair. Your bet of choice you mentioned at the top is the pick 6. How many horses you've gone with here?
2 horses, D's, but a little bit worried, and I'll tell you why I'm a little bit worried. There's a complete lack of pace in this race. The 2 horses speak for themselves, 2 None Other and 5 Red Maple. None Other better over further, of that there's no doubt. But coming in here, as accomplished as she is, drawn 1, I mean, she's got to be a massive player. And then we got number 5, Red Maple, who's accomplished over 2,000 meters. Her last win shows that, but she just needs a pace to aim at. Where's she going to get the pace from here? And then we also got number 8, Explosive Bond, who's just seriously consistent. But I think that she might just be a stride better over a little bit further, number 8, Explosive Bond. So that's why I've gone in with the 2 horses. And when you look around, you look at all the collateral form, Red Maple finished in front of second base, Thani Player and Arumugam last time. And they have no right to turn that form around. The fillies allowance is going to be so vital here for Red Maple and for None Other by the same token. So I'll keep going around in circles here, and I keep thinking, wow, overcomplicated. Let's go with the best weighted column. Let's go with the conditions of the race that suit the fillies. Let's go with the class. Let's go with 2 and 5. Simple as that. And just hope that there's a pace for number 5, Red Maple. If there's no pace, then we're going to rely on number 2, None Other.
Okay, 2 and 5 narrowed things down nicely there as we move along to the last leg of the pick 6. It is not the last race on the card. 10 races carded, so it'll be the last double, races 9 and 10, merit rated 96 handicap over 1,400 meters. Number 1 is Buster Barnes at 8-1, first run for the stable of Mike de Kock. I see this has been racing north of the Limpopo. Then number 2, Silver Tudor, is at 5-1. Number 3, Radisho, is at 4-1, a weighted jockey on that. 4, Africa House at 6-1. 5, Stimerick, is at 18-10. And we got number 10, the Playboy Bomber, at 8-1. Alistair, this race, and I'm going to go as far as to say that it's not a thumb suck from me, but I think we've found a nice horse here in number 6, Moonlight Trader. When I took down the betting, and I expected this horse to be in single figures. If I was pricing up, it would definitely be. But the fixed odds market has got number 6, Moonlight Trader, at a 14-1. Now, I understand that the Dingans was no show, and maybe the bump at the start could have been, the way the race panned out for the horse, and it was just not interested. But I'm going to side with the handicapper here, because if the handicapper gave him that penalty from a 93 to a 101 for his win in the Graham Beck Stakes, I'm going to side with the handicapper and say, okay, I agree. Against this type of field, there's some good form here, but to let a horse run loose at 14-1 that I know was a fluent winner of that Graham Beck, I think that looks very attractive. 14-1, number 6.
Yeah, I've got him in. I'll make him a player. I mean, he's the only feature race winner in this race. How's that for a stat? The Graham Beck, the subsequent winner was Musical Score, who runs earlier. Well beaten was Fire Attack, but fine and unfit Fire Attack. The specialist is probably not quite the same horse as he was as a 2-year-old, certainly not showing it yet. And finished in front of Legend of Arthur, who I think is a very, very nice horse as well. So all of those bits and pieces of the puzzle make a very strong case for number 6, Moonlight Trader. And of course, his claim to fame came over this course and distance as well, where, to be fair, he was given every chance out of gate 1, but it's not going to be much more complicated out of gate number 4. So yes, I've got him in. I do think that he's badly overpriced here, number 6, Moonlight Trader. Definitely represents some top 3 value. And when going through the card, there was no way that I could possibly let this horse run loose in the pick 6. My top choice, though, is number 2, Silver Tudor. Going to lean with him. Serena Woodley takes her out for Sean Tarry. And the World Sports Betting Grand Heritage was the first horse home towards the outside, finished in front of Radicchio. He came from behind Radicchio as well. Third run after a break for number 2, Silver Tudor, son of Lance. I can have him. I think he's a big player, this Sean Terry trained horse, very consistent horse as well. So all those factors, I think, are going to make him the horse to beat. Number 3, Radicho. Well, wherever Silver Tudor is, Radicho ought to be right there. He was such the Hollywoodbets Durbanville specialist, was the son of Flower Alley. Picked up shrewdly by Larry Nestat for Bar and Boertis. We do await a jockey at the time of recording. Let me just hit refresh, see if there is any news for Radicho. No one at the time of recording, but I'm sure there'll be quite a queue of guys lining up to take the ride of number 3, Radicha. If he can go to Turffontein stand side, big chance. For me, I think that the turn of foot would make him more of a factor on the inside track, but I wouldn't write off his chances because we don't know. And then number 5, Kimrick, also goes and beaten by Cosmic Speed, giving him weight last time. First run over this trip, question mark, but the half-brother to Egyptian Mao, who was at her best over 1,400 meters, also not one to let run loose.
Okay, that's race number 9. On to the 10th race, where we close things off at the Big T, and we should end off, if everything goes to plan, at 17:15 over 1,160 meters. It's a merit-rated 80 handicap. Bring up the field, the betting. Number 2, Longsword, 5-1. Horse number 3, Secret Chord, 7-1. Number 5, Xantha at 33-10. At 33-10. Number 6, Big Boy Bruce. And we got horse number 6, Blizzard Snow, at 7-1. It looks like a really tough race to close things off. If you're running in Jackpot 2, hopefully you load it up here, Alistair.
Yeah, you're going to need a few horses. Hardest race on the card, I'd say. These, the 2 horses that strike a chord with me most are 5, Xantha, and 6, Big Boy Bruce. Big Boy Bruce, they're drawn towards the inside. Not a fan of that, but at least he's come to hand. He's doing some very good things. Ignore the penultimate start over 1,400 meters. Didn't get home, didn't have the legs for 1,400 over the sprints. Much better horse has to go in. Number 5, Xantha, got a penalty for being beaten 13.5 lengths in the Dingons. Followed up with a nice run, got a penalty again. I'm not a fan of that, but I am a fan of the horse. So dropping in distance, trip that he's 1 from 2 over, including a second, not one to totally ignore. I think the race sort of revolves around those 2. I think they'll both be in the top 4. We're looking to play a quartet, maybe double float 5 and 6, and hope for a horse at a big price to get into the top 4. Might be a little bit of value about number 10, Sea Shanty. I do give him a little vote of confidence. Penultimate start was disappointing, but tried blinkers last time to Secret Chord. 2 kilos better off for nearly 2 lengths. Outside draw, that should close the deficit. I think number 10, Sea Shanty, will also go into the top 3 at a reasonable price.
I'm talking about guys that will be queuing up for rides. Well, in the 10th race, this is a good one as well. No jockey as yet on number 6, Big Boy Bruce. Okay, Alistair Cohen's gone through the 10 races. He mentioned that he's aiming at the big one, and it could be the way to go with those feature races forming part of the Pick 6. Let's have a look at his guide for the Pick 6. I say guide because you can play it as is, you can add and subtract, but it is the numbers that are up on screen now. Alistair Cohen's Pick 6. Go through it, Ali.
Yep, Pick 6 gets underway at 20-2, weather permitting. Kick off with the feature race 1, 2, 7, 8, Texas Red, Pomodoros, Jetstorm, Brasco, and Truth. By 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, Vulcanite, Baquena, Miss Leah, Salinio Peninsula, and Coco Melon. By 1 and 3, Cosmic Speed and Great Tricks. By 2, 5, 8, and 10, I Am Giant, Mount Pilatus, Just Be Lacquer, and Taxi to the Moon. But the more I look at that, number 6, Chasing Happiness, absolutely has to go in. By 2 and 5, none other than Red Maple. By 2, 3, 5, and 6, Silver Tudor, Radicchio, Cymric, and Moonlight traded as 4 horses in the final leg.
Okay, I just had a quick calculation of that perm. 128 Rand will get you 10% of that Pick 6 on a Saturday. Thanks for your time, Alistair, as always.
Dee's, always a pleasure. Keep well, and we'll see you soon. We cannot wait for 2 weeks. It's going to be a wonderful time at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth.
Talking about 2 weeks, this show is recorded a day earlier on a Friday before the Saturday. And on the Friday, it's entries for the 25th at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. We thank Alistair Cohen and, of course, to you, the valued racing fan, on behalf of Gallop TV. Hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you if you are playing at Turffontein or Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, who will be racing side by side. And have a blast, find all the winners, and until we meet again, you take care. Salanigas.